the moment you accept that Wemby's just him, the better your life will be. The better you'll be able to accept that the NBA is in a good place right now.
He's one of the 3 best defenders in NBA history, and he's 22 years old.
So who's that mean he's better than?
Fred VanVleet.
Draymond.
At 22 years old, is he a better defensive player than Patrick Ewing?
Yep.
I think he's better than Ewing was.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're digging for who was actually better, you'd have to go back to like Bill Russell, and then you'd have to context dependent, like against his.
He's better than Hakeem.
No, I'm just saying that's just one name. But
Tim Duncan.
At 22 years old, Duncan was a rook at 22 years old. Is he better than Duncan at 22 years old?
He's saying he's saying it's not just
as a defender.
Age.
I'm not talking about
as a defender. We ain't talking about players.
He's not saying at 22. He's saying period.
How about this? Find me a better defender at 22 in NBA history.
Oh,
you ain't seen one.
Yeah, that's a different question. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not even having that conversation. He is the greatest 22-year-old defender in NBA history.
Is he better than Garnett? Garnett, that was I think 22. Garnett was in 90. That was 99.
He's better at 22 than Garnett was defensively at 26. Easily.
No, I'm not doing
yes,
that. No,
absolutely. Look, I think
Garnett and by the way, Garnett in 26. That was 2003 Garnett, 2004 Garnett. That's who Garnett is. You telling me Wemby was better than him as a defender?
Yeah.
No
absolutely.
way. No
absolutely.
way.
Absolutely, man. What are we doing here?
Okay, so if wow. As a glass cleaner, not just a glass cleaner, but in terms of being switchable, closing out, being able to close out on shots, being able to guard multiple positions, being able to guard in the post. Because I can say right now to you, Ben, that Wemby is not the post defender that Garnett was at 26. No, he is not. That is just not true. He cannot guard in the post. I'll give you the shot. I'll give you the shot blocking. I'll 100% give you the shot blocking. On the perimeter, as a switchable big, Kevin Garnett, you said at 26, this is 2003 Kevin Garnett, who was able to switch on guys and be able to recover.
Garnett was nowhere close to the rim protector, and I was up here last week, and y'all told me rim protection's everything. So what the hell?
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue the shot blocking. But I am gonna. I'm not gonna argue the shot blocker because I think Wemby is. I mean, we're talking about arguably the best shot blocker in NBA history. So I'm not going to argue that point. But I'm talking about the other stuff in terms of being able to call out plays and understanding plays, understanding how to switch, being able to get on the glass, being able to post up. I mean, being able to play post up defense, push guys off the box, understand how to slip guys who are in the post. To say that he is a better defender than Garnett, no, I don't agree with that at all. Absolutely not. But I'd also like to stay with your theme. So Dennis Rodman at 26 years old. Dennis Rodman at 26 years old. That was in, that was in 88. You think he a better defender than Dennis Rodman at 26 years old?
Yeah, I do.
The irritant that Dennis Rodman was, the on-ball defender that Dennis Rodman was. Yes. Is it just all?
He is a foot taller. He's almost
just because you're taller than somebody does not make you a better defender. So let's kill that right there.
Agreed. And Rodman was also extremely good at pattern recognition, extremely high motor, extremely agile, extremely strong, extremely athletic, extremely switchable, extremely versatile. He's not Wemby though, yo. Like what Victor Wembanyama can do is what we just talked about. He can shut down an entire. He can shut down like an elevator.
And I can say the same thing with Dennis Rodman.
He can shut down an elevator's worth of space.
Yeah, because he's too goddamn big to be in that motherfucker. That's why.
But chill. Think about the physics of trying to pass when this guy is even on the court. Sure. Think about trying to drive when this guy's on the court. Like what we don't think about is there's passes I'm not even trying to make if he's even close. How's that changing me? How's that changing what I'm doing? I'm throwing passes that I'm not even sure about, and I'm throwing them higher. I'm lobbing passes over this guy. Gives my defense more time to adjust. If I was a defender, if you were a defender, let's just say you, because you were a lot closer to that level of basketball than I ever was. you would want to play with Wemby if you were a guard defender.
I'm not saying I don't want to. I'm not saying that at all.
So pick a player that you would rather play with defensively than that dude.
Even though I'm more partial to the big man, right? I am more partial to the big man, no question about that. Especially a rim protector like Wemby. But to think about Dennis Rodman as a disruptor, think about Dennis Rodman as a guy who throws a monkey wrench in your entire offense. Because we can score in other spaces, right? We can score in other spaces with Wemby. What I mean when I say we can score in other spaces, we can score on the perimeter. We could keep Wemby out of the offense. With Dennis, he's so switchable playing on the perimeter. He's so switchable playing on the box. He's such a great recovery defender who can guard at the rim where he will block shots. He just throws a monkey wrench in your entire offense. We can keep the ball and we can keep the offense away from Wemby. You almost have an impossible time keeping the offense away from Dennis because he will involve himself in the offense. That's just who he is. Same thing with Garnett. He will involve himself in your offense.
Wemby is generational. Wemby is generational on defense. I don't know what to say. I'm not hating on Wemby. Say he's generational on defense. He's the best defender in the league. He should win DPOY probably like every year. And he probably would be better in the 2000s with less spacing and more shooting. So I think he probably is a better defender than Tim Duncan at the time. So
you literally just said we glazing somebody who their defense is conducive to that other team's offense. You just said that. I
mean, I think it's a little bit of glaze just because it's a good matchup for Wemby's defensive impact in this era. But I think that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's still not the best defender in the league. He is, but it plays to his strengths to play against Detroit, who I think struggles to score at times, and Cade can be inefficient. But I mean, they first have a great team. They have great shooters around. He has a great supporting cast. It'll probably be OKC versus Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. I don't see any other team beating them in a 7-game series.
Ron, this shit sound like, you know what? That dress is fine as hell on you. You look great on it, but you do got the kind of feet that work with the shoes that work with that dress. Instead of the dress just looking good on her. Why I gotta be extracurricular shit?
What am I saying? What am I saying that's disrespectful?
Okay, Wemby is awesome as a defender. That's it.
Okay, and
that's a compliment.
Wemby is a top 3 player.
And maybe that's it. No, maybe he's a top 3 player.
See, here we go with the bullshit. Here come
I agree with that. I
don't think anyone else up here other than Ron would say he's a top 3 player.
Yeah, so saying a guy who hasn't played a single playoff minute is not a top player is somehow disrespectful. I don't get that.
San Antonio Spurs have not made the playoffs yet. Yes, so I could get what you need to see it in the postseason. I can definitely
at least for one
I could definitely get with that. You need to see it in the postseason.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.